that motion sensor a little bit further, but everybody else spread out, and I'll be bouncing around with all of you to see what's going on. I'll do 2 round robins, and then I'll pull us all back over here to kind of go over the answers and see what we actually found. Again, this will not be a lengthy part of your investigation today. All right, let's do this. Jay.
I'm going to stick with you and just kind of follow you. You can ask him. Ask him. Alright, you kind of lead the way. Hmm?
It's hard to understand what it's saying.
Ask a question.
Huh?
Ask a question.
That's it.
Wasn't an orb, was it? So, you want to pop that back out? If you would, for me. You didn't hear me? Oh. I'm gonna try to just follow you and go to them as well. Huh? There's like these sparkly things on the ground that I keep picking up and it's throwing me off.
yours going? Not always like something that can catch the whole time because it is so sparse in between. So, as long as you guys are pretty close together, we'll get the audio from that as well. So that way, when you guys are watching your video, you can listen to the spirit box at the same time. Yep. I don't know what the relationship is. It could be your little brother for all I know.
No, we're good.
Like, I don't really want to stay by him.
No, yeah, we're good.
The cameras I don't always follow up with in real time because I do send those videos to YouTube.
Yeah.
So that way you can watch them on the big screen. I watch them on a nice big computer screen in the morning, so just kind of keep that in mind if I'm not following up with you as often.
Yeah.
But again, I'll always be checking to make sure you're recording. I can see it from here that it is. There's an indicator on the front for me to see. So that way, I'll say like, all right, let's give it a break, or so forth and so on.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, nice slow, steady movements out of that make that for a nice video to watch later on.
Gotcha.
All right, about 12 terms total out of that guy. Don't expect much more than that.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything on my word list that makes any sense. I just said showing off here. What I got out of it.
What did it say?
He said it said showing off here.
Oh. Did it?
I don't know what it sounded like.
It's
hard for me to decipher. The only word I got was when I said what happened to your house, and it said baby.
I can't really hear it while I'm away from you, but I try to keep the camera on you.
Anyway, that records audio too. So.
This does?
Yeah. So if I stay clear or close to you, it'll maybe pick it up.
I try to limit my chatter then.
So I'll just stand behind you so I'm not in your shot.
Well, sometimes I want you in my shot.
Well, you just tell me, just say walk in front. It's like rope. We're sitting.
Standing? Ten?
Yeah.
Don't?
Alright.
I don't want to be recording their license plate.
I thought it said 10.
You got 10 as well?
It said 10.
Okay. Somebody else heard 10 as well. Alright, let's pull everybody over. I'm going to throw that thing on mute.
Yep.
You want me to keep recording?
Come on back a little. Sorry.
It's up to you at this point. We will stop them with your
I just
cameras
got
before we
flash really, really loud.
flash.
Flash.
Wow. The green light was flashing when we said the word flash.
Tower.
So a couple of things about your spirit boxes, those of you with the red ones in your hands, they're slowed down. Sometimes you're going to get longer phrases, and the key word that we're looking for is going to be in the middle of that phrase. The example I normally use is, what color is a big red barn? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. We don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. We just need red. You did hear the number 5,000. So obviously the number 5 sticks out to me. Not necessarily anything pertinent, but that's how I look at that. Nobody else really gave me a full phrase, so there's nothing else I could give an example of, but the number 5,000, I would look at the number 5. What I'm excited about so far, we've gotten up to, what was it, a 16 or 17? 16.8. So 16.8 in a place with no electricity. Again, the average spike for this location is between 18 to 22 milligauss. What does that mean? That thing measures electricity inside the air. If you were to put that behind your TV set, it would read about 40 to 60 milligauss. So it kind of gives you a gist of, we have almost half of that, about a third of it, in a space where there's no electricity. And the telephone wires around you are really high. That's not going to read off those wiring, just so you guys know, unless you're standing next to an electrical pole. Stand next to a microwave, same device, 150 to 170 milligauss. That's pretty high. The highest I've ever seen that device go has been in this location at 214 milligauss, and it has been at this space. We left. I have epilepsy. I'm not playing with that much electricity order. So again, that was as soon as we got here with that night. That was over this past summer. So again, highest I've ever seen that device go. Let's go over the quick answers of the things that I gave you. So for those of you recording, if you want to give your hands a break, by all means do so. The REM portion hasn't been really going off, so we'll leave it on for now until we leave the space. The Carrie's device, and then the word big as we were leaving. That's called bleed over. We were still close enough to Big John's to still get clues to Big John. So again, even at Big John's, when I started, you have the recording one, right? Oh, you have the. So at the recording, we could be getting things from the Pinckney Mansion site right from the top, even though we weren't there until 20 to 30 minutes later. So again, it's close enough where I call this bleed over. We're far enough away from them now where we're not going to hear much from them anymore. We're going to be starting a whole new bleed over session. So, welcome to Philadelphia Alley, by the way. For those of you that took tours last night, you kind of already know this story, but you don't know some of the details that I'm going to cover, because every ghost tour comes down here, but you're ghost hunting, so you're going to get different details out of me. Here's how the story goes. This used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Sorry, since you guys already heard this, I'm going to turn my back. No, I'm kidding. But here's how the story goes as far as the characters in the story. We all tell the story because we can prove that it actually happened. A doctor moved down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Keep in mind, that name shows up here a lot in different portions of the spirit boxes. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So, Dr. Ladd moves to Charleston to prove that he's not just after Amanda's money. He's going to start his practice down here instead. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. And somebody was walking by named Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. R.I. shows up on your spirit boxes a lot. I also have a digital Ouija board in my bag that I bought specifically for this location. So, because of the initial pieces, it gives us letters based on EMF that's in the air. So, we've gotten it a few times, but it's not an every night occurrence, which is why we're not using it tonight. But anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you stay with some friends of mine at 59 Church Street? You can rent a room from them, and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor's staying down here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving that he's not just after Amanda's money. So, Amanda gets wind of this. She's moving down soon. They're going to get married. And doctor knows that she's coming down. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. We actually have proof of this one. I'm going to get to it. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of the way Charleston works. So, they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night, and they're discussing the new actress that was here in town. Dr. Ladd thought she was fantastic, Ralph not so much. The argument gets even more heated when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. They obviously go their separate ways. Ralph has friends here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, sir. Dr. Ladd sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. They came down, they took her 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel. Ralph has his one shot. I normally have you guys guess where he put it, but 4 out of 6 of you already know. He put it in the kneecap of the doctor. Dr. Ladd drops to the ground when he didn't die. His friends picked him up, carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 or 4 days later, depending on which version of the story you're reading. So, the other ghost stories will tell you that you want to listen for whistles down here, because it's always quiet, regardless of the air conditioning or heating unit that you're hearing right now. Even on a busy Saturday afternoon, it is super quiet down here. I've actually been kicked out of this alley. I can't take you all the way through it, and I'm going to tell you why in just a minute, because that's the fun part of the story. So, Carrie's looking at me like, how the hell did that happen? But anyway, we're using my voice recorder right now. Obviously, you're going to be listening for any kind of whistles in the background, but I do want you to keep in mind that every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night. We passed my garage on the way here, which means I have to pass the alley to get to my car. When my daughter's on the floor, we race to see who's going to throw the whistle first, because it's just a fun little game we play. Here's how I got booted out, because this is the fun part. It's kind of nice that we're the only ones down here right now, by the way. This alley didn't always come all the way through. It actually stopped about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It used to be called Cow Alley. We do get the word cow here quite a bit, just so you know. And the number 59, because of the address of the doctor. That's another weird thing, and that might come up again later. But anyway, the bricks down there are older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's one full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes from others. I used to take my groups all the way through this alley just to show off the handprint, because I'm sure you guys figured out I'm all about history. However, one night, November 26th, I'm bringing my group all the way through. What'd you get?
That's my birthday.
November 26th?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking my group all the way through here, and everybody likes to stop to get a reading, try to get a reading out of that brick with the handprint. I treat that brick with the handprint the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. I'm trying to hurry them along also because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. We're not allowed in residential areas on a tour, just so you know. I did not know this at the time, and I was in the wrong. The new owner of the mansion came out screaming. I was in the wrong. We moved on. My daughter thought it was great because Dad got yelled at. The next day was Thanksgiving. I did not have a tour that day because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. Now you know why I don't work Thanksgiving. The next day after that was November 28th. I got a phone call asking me to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do, or reroute my group. I didn't think it was fair of my groups of 10 to be working on groups of 20 to 60. So I decided I'm going to reroute the group, and we're going to take it from there. I told my team that night, I don't believe in the story we're about to go talk about. We're going to see what happens. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Obviously, we're going to be talking about pirates next. So, before we left, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. So I was like, oh damn. I did not tell these folks that we are about to investigate the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I went, shit. So we get up there, I told what little bit I did know about pirates at the time, and somebody else hears the number 300. I didn't know what that meant until I'm doing the research the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. And ever since then, I've read more damn books on pirates than I ever wanted to, trying to piece together a factual investigation on pirate lore, which is very difficult to do. Not to say you all should be grateful I have a master's degree in creative writing, but be grateful. It is difficult to do. I'm still reading more books. I just ordered more. My wife's like, how many more books do we need on pirates? How much does the story change? I'm like, a lot. You don't even know. So everything we're going to be discussing at the next location is based off a minimum of 2 resources or more. So it is a hit or miss location. We're either going to have a shit ton going on or nothing at all. That's just the way the location works. Worst case scenario, you're going to learn a whole hell of a lot about pirates that you never even knew about in the past. So, do we have any like super pirate fans here? Nobody? Okay. Every once in a while I get like that, woo, pirates! I'm like, oh, great. Somebody's going to fact check me on pirate lore. Awesome. What's that?
Captain Morgan count?
We'll take 'em. And that's only because that's the rum that I use when I'm making my ginger ales. So let me check my word list real quick to see if anything popped up. Did anybody else hear anything? We often hear the doctor's birthday here, which is very, obviously, it's a weird number. Nobody heard anything? You gave me one other term, but I didn't find like that was relevant to our space. Any numbers show up out of you? Anything above 5?
Not above 5.
Okay. Yeah, we do have obviously some lighting around here, so anything like between 3 and 5, I kind of debunked that right away. So I would look for anything above 5 in this space. The next location that we go to is still going to be close to here. We may get bleed over from this space, just so you know. It actually, more than likely, we'll get more bleed over there and get more clues relevant to this space than what we're actually getting here in real time. So for those of you recording, if you want to continue recording, it's completely up to you. But we're going to head over to the powder magazine and discuss why we're there, because that's a whole different scenario of why we go to that location versus why we've been in the other places. So, did you like leave earwax on there? Is that why you're looking at it funny?
No, I was gonna stick it in my ear when you were.
You were staring at it. Like, did I get it?
I just wanted to make sure I had it ready to stick in.
All right.
Purple Rain and 30.
Purple Rain.
It came through.
I'm not doubting it. This is funny.
It was the song, but it came through. Wednesday. Oh, I think it's
Stand up.
Stand up.
You let go.
Stand up.
Use something.
Stand up. Smoke? I just hit my vape. That's funny. I hit my vape and we got smoke.
Six, 110. That was funny.
What?
You hear your vape and it said smoke.
Stand up. Smoke. We got stand up, and then I hit my vape about 5 seconds after it said smoke.
Send up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
And smoke.
Like right when we got to the end of the alley, it said stand up, and then like 50 feet later, he
I
hit
hit
his
my-
vape, and then it said smoke.
Interesting. Stand up. I mean, the doctor did fall. 4-4 is weird. Who heard 4-4? So, the Pinckneys told you they got married in 1744. Charles Pinckney was buried right across the street, which would have been on the other side of the wall of Philadelphia Alley. kind of a stretch until I have something else to verify that. But we do get clues from time to time. He loves to talk about his second wife Eliza, even though his first wife Eliza is also buried in the same cemetery. It's very weird. And again, I haven't figured out that whole scenario yet. But again, we will get clues relative to Eliza Lucas, even though she's not buried here. Her husband is. So again, very weird. And I don't even bring it up until we hear something else. 4 and 4, it's too specific. 4 and 4 is the year they got married. Alright, so we're going to be discussing the little tiny building over there. Did you guys hear this part of this? Because everybody that comes here tells something different about the powder magazine.
I got a good picture of it.
Yeah.
He didn't even stop, I don't think.
Honestly, I stuck my hand through the bars and took a picture.
Yeah.
It looks, perspective-wise, it looks like on the other side of the street. It looks, makes the yard look like it's twice the size.
Interesting.
I did get one twice. Hit again.
The powder magazine served 7 different wars, 1 rebellion. By the way, those are not crosses on that building, those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, they're basically turnbuckles. So in the event that we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you could turn those turnbuckles and it's supposed to straighten the building back up to stop it from incurring any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work, just so you know. You've seen earthquake bolts all over town. Even the apartment building behind the powder magazine has earthquake bolts, and they run on all 4 sides. Yeah, very interesting. You guys are seeing pineapples, lion heads, and all kinds of stupid Charleston charm shit around town. They just don't do anything.
1840.
Just so you guys know, John Calhoun is buried on the other side. I don't know, I can't remember what years he served, but if it's 1840 or something else, like, damn it, this is not your month. I only talk about him in March. So, he just gets a little nosy sometimes. Back to the powder magazine. This is the reason why I talk about those very crude earthquake bolts, because they're nothing but giant bars. It's because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in. Why? This is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because this building would be familiar to Anne Bonny when she came here to start her new life. It was being constructed at that time. So, this building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. So, 1708 is where the story actually begins. Follow me, there's a lot of twists. You guys don't have to stare at the small building. We're going to be close enough to it, sort of. You guys are like, everybody's been doing that the past couple of nights. They're all like, I'm going to stare at the building while I Harry Potter. So, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She moves here with her father and his mistress. The father's mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? There's a lot of weird twists in this. The 3 of them are running away from Anne's father's angry wife. How pissed was she that you got to get on a boat and leave Ireland to come here in 1708? Just pointing that out. They land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. So that means Dad has to send young Anne down here to sell, things from the plantation and help keep things afloat. Let's backtrack a little bit. Anne back home in Ireland is said to be a badass. They say she killed one of her servants when she was only 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, it's pirate lore, with a knife to the belly. We have gotten the terms servant, knife, and belly all in the same evening from different spear boxes. So keep that in mind. Fast forward. Building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. That's the way the world worked back then. That's at least what she thought it was going to be. First guy she falls in love with, yes, I said first because there is a handful and we're going to go through them. Yes, there's a whole gambit of dudes. So, guy number 1 is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going. We already mentioned her full married name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Is there something like at that wall that you're staring at?
It was something.
There was a mouse.
Yeah, and it went right through it.
And I was like trying to figure out what
It went right through
something about to jump on me. Like all I see is her going like this.
That's actually what I was.
I was
That's
thinking.
what I was concentrated. Like, is it going
what was
to?
that? I just heard scuffling and then movement
Either
like
me or
out
you.
of one of my
Carolina,
eyes.
Jesse, and Ann.
We'll take the Anne for sure. So, where was I? James Bonny. They got married. Anne Cormack became Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, James Bonny is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. So he's a coward in her eyes. This is not who she wants. A few years later, she falls in love again. This guy's name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is literally the person that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of for your Disney movies. So this is the guy. He has his own ship and his own crew, and wants to be part of that crew. Does anybody know why you can't put a girl on a pirate crew? Bad luck. Thank you for keeping it family friendly. I get a lot of answers to that question. I need to stop asking it, honestly. But anyway, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you could be part of the crew. You're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to hide her away from his wife. So she's like, whatever, it's a man's world, let's go. Let's put two and two together. She's a female in his corners. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that Jack let a girl on the ship. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby. My friends here will help you out. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. All the research I've done, can't find it. She returns dressed like a female. Jack is pretty angry because not everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. While she was away giving birth to his baby, he captured another pirate crew, and they're below deck. Anne's going to go flirting, because that's what Anne does. She's kind of a jerk that way. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females dressed as males on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers, because we're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to take on one pirate ship. Rumor had it that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks, probably because they didn't know how to use cannons yet. They weren't pirates for very long. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1 bullet flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. They're being arrested, and as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot. We didn't have dog barking on your guys' spirit boxes, just so you know. Yeah, a weird thing, and it's on our way in. It happens. So, back to Anne and Mary. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight 2 days prior, so they're dead and gone. Anne and Mary go in front of the judge, which ironically his name is Nick as well, Nicholas Laws, and you did hear law enforcement earlier, so I was kind of like, it's kind of a stretch, we're not quite there yet, and I don't have anything else to verify it, but he wants to see the 2 men. They go in front, reveal their gender. He doesn't give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they shouted to Nicholas Laws, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. By the way, this is the pirate trial that we discussed earlier. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money, and he bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending. Mary Reed died a year later, 1721, in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Most books and articles would tell you that it was some kind of fever. I call bullshit. Use your imagination. It was probably scurvious, nasty, gross. Make it romantic for yourselves. I have to think about it every single night. So, 2 things I left out of here, because you guys know how to ask questions by now. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the name, like her father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. With yours, Jay, you are going to use the motion sensor in here, but you're going to be asking about Anne Bonny's hair color. The reason why is because the only place I've ever gotten a red on command has been in this location, and she has to touch the antenna in order to make it go to red. So, definitely get that REM pod going. Do you have numbers, by the way?
I have been 0 the entire time.
Don't be excited the closer you get to those bushes. Behind side, electrical poles in the corners. So, basically anything from the halfway point back, if you have numbers, super great. Anything else, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's a 3 to a 7, probably coming from the electrical poles or a parking meter. So again, for your device, it's going to be all about the motion sensing on that portion. Spirit box is nice and high. By the way, Josh, with your device, the 2nd or 3rd night I was using it, this was probably the one location I had the best orb I've ever caught, and it was bigger than my head.
Oh, wow.
And it was an intelligent orb. Like, it came towards me, behind me, and then went up. Like, beautiful piece. So, again, probably the biggest orb I've ever caught that was actually proven. So, again, I have a set of criteria that I use to debunk a lot of things.
Gotcha.
Definitely get those cameras, like, basically going, get all of your spirit boxes running. Looks like everybody's on par. We're going to see other tours passing by through here, because that's what they do. Or cars coming in and out. Just be mindful of them. But let's have some fun in this location. I'll know within 5 minutes if she's here or not. So let's kind of get this call rolling. What do we got going on with you guys?
I'll stick with you so I can pick up the audio on it. But
Chevy?
7. That's cool how it does that. Videos.
And what was the name of your parents? Or your dad? Can you tell me your dad's name?
Red?
Red?
Yeah, 7 and red. Ask? Seven and red.
Yeah, what was your dad's name?
So far we got 7 and red. She asked the dad's name and it said red, but
That's the hair color. The 7 is part of Dr. Ladd's birthday.
Hmm.
It was July 7th. 7/7. We normally get it in doubles.
oh wow.
Yeah, and I actually wrote a field guide for you guys to like help go through navigate your media, and it actually has paranormal evidence in there, so you guys know what you're looking for. Those orbs I was just mentioning are in that
It's in
field
it?
guide. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like to see that.
So yeah, that. Oh, by the way, it's weird because one of the first or second nights I was using that guide, we had a weeknight. This used to be like my grand finale. We still have one more spot to go. But I'm packing things up, and the person hands it to me, and he goes, "Pirate." Plain as day. We all heard it, but it was next to a camera, so we actually had the piece on the audio. So I was super stoked. But yeah, it was a light night. Like, not people were struggling with the spirit boxes. There wasn't much going on in real time. I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen with this? Because I do have those nights where it's a little bit lighter than normal.
Oh.
Last night was one of those nights. Like there was pretty much nothing. It was really minimal last night. But she was special.
You said we have one more spot to go?
Yep.
Okay, awesome, cool.
John's boat's name?
Yeah, the boat name.
What was John's boat's name? And what was your dad's name?
Let me get an orb. Get my own.
Can you do it again? What color was your hair? Again.
Yeah, begin. What was the ship name?
What was the ship's name? What was your dad's mistress's name?
Nandi?
Alright.
Oh.
Oh, it said, but that's all.
Me? Begin, Nandi, and me?
Yeah. What was your dad's name, Anne?
Again, 94, me. 5.
DUI.
Huh?
DUI.
Begin, 94, 5.
What was the name of the ship? We had 4 kids, right? Can you say that?
4 and 10. Is that what it said? Or 5?
5.
Again, 90.
4 and then 5.
We got a few more things. We got begin, 90, 4, and 5. 4 and 5 kind of came.
Just heard monument.
Yeah, I was like, a monument just came through.
Another Calhoun thing.
Is it?
Yeah. You got anything else coming up?
I can remember 24 again.
What's Calhoun?
Huh?
So what's up, Calhoun?
Is that what it said?
Well, he said some other Calhoun thing.
Oh.
He's buried on the other side. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, Creek and Hunter.
So a couple of things about this space. We have a lot of numbers. Go ahead and mute that for me. So 40 and 46, I swear, if Calhoun was running between 1840 to 46, like, I'm going to shit a brick just because he needs to stay where he needs to stay in the month of March. We also got the word monuments. We actually had a monument of Calhoun over at Marion Square. It was taken down through the Black Lives Matter movement. So, and it was 100 feet in the air. I can imagine he's not real happy about it.
Wow.
So, again, a lot of things wrapped around Calhoun. We didn't get anything specific unless there's his birth date in there or death date. Nobody gave me the number 3 in any way, shape, or form. They also have the word British on my word list. And they heard a phrase that said, "Do you know you're being watched?" What I told them, and you'll hear it on your regular audio, was I get a lot of psychics on this tour, and they all see the same soldier standing right around those bushes over there. The odd thing is the uniform that soldier is wearing is not a Confederate soldier. At least not in my mind. Blue pair of pants with a white shirt. Same description from all the psychics I've talked to that have claimed to see something over there. And I don't bring it up until they do. So it's just one of those pieces. Take that for what it's worth. It is what it is. They actually kind of came up with the idea that it might have been a British soldier that may have taken over the powder magazine. I don't know that off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to research it. I'm not here to make shit up, right? So, let's talk about Anne Bonny. Let's get this one wrapped up so we can go over to our last stop that I don't know everything about. That's the fun part. This is one of the few pictures you can find of Anne Bonny with a shirt on. The reason why is she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. I get a lot of teenage boys on this tour. I don't need angry moms. So, the names of her parents, William Cormack, Mary Brennan. That was not a subliminal trick. You guys were not expecting a secondary Mary. Just so happened to work out that way. Remember, we have Mary Reed from the ship. So Mary Brennan was a servant woman under the Cormack home. That's a whole nother scandal that takes 30 minutes to talk about. We're going to move on because that was a whole nother mess. I like to show you guys what Calico Jack looked like because everybody seems to want to know what they based Johnny Depp off of, and it doesn't look anything like him. Calico Jack was named that because of his jackets that he wore. They came from the British captains that he killed. So, Jack's father, oh, by the way, we did get the name Jack here. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's pretty common. Jack's father was a tailor, so textiles were pretty important to the Rackham family. Calico Jack, fancy jacket. That's where the name comes from, Calico Jack. So kind of keep that in the back of your brain. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. I don't expect the Kingston to come through your 2 spirit boxes. It's a possibility with yours because you get more disembodied voices than just radio chatter. So, you guys had something else that was pretty relevant too. What did I say? Oh, it was the number 7. The number 7 shows up here for a number of different reasons. When it shows up in doubles, it's relevant to the doctor that we just discussed. His birthday is July 7th, 7-7. So we only have one so far that I know of. So kind of take that for what it's worth. The other reason is that this served in 7 different wars, and John Calhoun is your 7th vice president. Again, we need all the other clues. Right now, it looks like it's pointing towards Calhoun based on all the other shit that we have about him. You gave me a crap ton of numbers that I'm going to have to pretty much sift through, like, holy crap. Like, I got a Googleplex of numbers that I have to really look into to see what's going on. And you guys are actually getting really good at this. My notebook's getting very, very full, and I appreciate that. Last night was really, really light. We're going to put that out there.
What numbers did I give you?
You gave me a lot.
Oh, I know. The 40s.
40 and 46. And I think you gave me 143. Somebody heard 43 up there. 25 was in there. 90, 24, 46, 20, 27.
It's not Calhoun.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
He's
know.
45 to 50.
But when did he run? That's the question, because he could have ran for multiple elections. We also got the name Charles. So again, something else tied in with the 4-4 that we heard along the way here. So again, very vague clues, but they're good clues. So otherwise I'd be like, guys, these are crappy. We're going to see what I can find. But we're going to go to one more spot. It's about 5 minutes from here, and it's a spot where I don't know everything. Again, experimental one. We're going to be adding in this one last location. Again, turn off your REM pod. Those of you recording, give your cameras a break. Again, there'll be no point. We blood book. You can see where the blood stain looks like a man writing over. It's kind of a creepy thing to actually end on. So you can even see his last line. It says, "Beholder of brief mortality," and then he coughs up this blood phlegm on the page. We have seen over 100 milligauss readings come out of this location. Most of those have been in grassy knolls. So like up in this corner, that corner, and over here by that other tree. So we'll give this a few minutes to see how far this rain's going to go, and then we'll meet back up over here to see what we actually found. So if it starts pouring, we're all going to bolt for that bus stop. Is that fair? Nobody wants to get sick in this crazy weather.
Walk this way and circle around.
Normally we would actually
Huh?
Well, it's a part.
one spot one night, and the other spot. The other spot is good. It's good.
What was his name?
Oh, you were gonna ask me that. I can't remember it. It's over there. What was your son's name? No, nothing's really come through yet.
I don't know if your light starts flickering here. If you start seeing like flickering on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
This place has drained the light's battery a few times,
Okay.
but other nights it doesn't. And I don't know how long we've been out here to like actually time it.
Yeah.
I won't know until obviously when we end. I'll look at the voice
Gotcha.
recorder.
Is this right here? I'm assuming it's just that light.
It would have to be. It's got to be reflecting off the ground. You see it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Huh. Red's taking control of the thing. Yeah, he's stepping up. What was his son's name?
That was one of the questions.
I know. That's what I'm.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stay kind of out of the way.
Very good. Summer?
30th? December 30th.
December 30th? December 30th?
Yeah.
As clear as day?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way in here, I heard how the tailgate. Anything else you can think of?
We got December 30th.
Close. Close.
Close.
We have the month. Alright, we're gonna give this one more minute. I'm gonna do one more very quick round robin, and we may head for that bus station. Okay. Alright, let's head over to that bus station so we're not soaking the equipment and getting you guys ill.
I can't believe it actually said December.
No. Or like an ad or something.